4 games tonight. 4. And we've got, well, at least the start times are really spread out. So that's kind of nice. But it does start at 4 o'clock and it does end at around 10 o'clock tonight. So, yeah, it's about 6 hours of hockey tonight. So if you have the center ice package or if you partake of the live stream variety that a lot of online users will these days, you've got a lot of hockey to watch for a long time. And I intend to watch as much of these as possible. Keeping in mind it is Wednesday, so Wednesday's a busy day for us. Okay, so Philadelphia. The Flyers are in against the Capitals. This one starts at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern. For the Flyers, they're 38-20-7 overall. They're 8-2 in their last 10. They've won, I believe it's 6 in a row, correct? Yes. And they're 15-15-3 on the road, and they're against the Capitals, who after this one turn around tomorrow night and play the Rangers. I'm sorry, Rangers fans, your schedule doesn't get easier. For the Capitals, 40-19-6. Over their last 10, they're 4-5-1, but they're showing signs of turning it around. They're 18-9-5 at home. And Washington playing Philadelphia might be exactly what the Capitals need. On November 13th, the Capitals won in Philadelphia 2-1. January 8th, Philadelphia won at home 3-2. So Philadelphia goes to Washington on February 8th and won that game 7-2. And of course, that was, I don't know if that was the low for the Capitals this year, but it felt pretty low. And so the Flyers, after spanking them, they're coming in tonight. And I would think the Capitals shouldn't have any problem getting motivated when they look back at that 7-2 score from approximately a month ago. Now for today, I did points per 60 minutes again and came up with, the players are going to be very similar because some of these teams are repeated. So I went with 4 players rather than 3 from last time. Points per 60 minutes for the Flyers, Couturier leads at 2.49. Konechny 2.43, and Lawton is down to 2.42. James Van Riemsdyk is 4th in points per 60 minutes played on the ice at 2.27. They will go with Elliott tonight. Elliott hasn't played in a bit, and his save percentage is .899. So for the Capitals, honestly, I would pepper him with shots right off the bat. Capitals, Vrana leads them in points per 60 minutes at 2.75. Kuznetsov, 2.41. Ovechkin, 2.25. And Karlsson, the defenseman, 1.91. So considering how many minutes he plays, the fact that he shows up on this list means he scores a lot. Holtby will be the starter for the Capitals. It appears that once the playoffs roll around, it's Holtby's net. I do wonder how long a leash he's going to have, considering how well Samsonov's played at points this season. But it doesn't look like there's any intention to go away from him. All right, next up. Columbus in against these guys, the Calgary Flames. They won't be wearing these jerseys as stylish as they are. I've been seeing a lot of 90s nights, and I keep thinking, it's fine to have all these 90s nights, but unless these teams are going to do their retro 90s jerseys, it doesn't have quite that same effect. So we'll see whether or not at some point these babies are brought back by the Flames. Columbus, well, 32-21-14 is their record. They're 2-4-4 in their last 10. They're coming off that win against Vancouver. They need to build some momentum. They're 12-9-10 on the road. Yeah, bizarre road record. Almost as bizarre as the home record sported by the New Jersey Devils. The fact that I'm comparing their road record to the Devils' home record tells you what you need to know about how perilous the situation is for Columbus now. On the Calgary side of things, they're 34-26-7. Over their last 10, they're 5-4-1. At home, they're 14-12-4. And you have to think, if they put up any kind of a winning record from here for the rest of the season, Calgary makes the playoffs, probably finishes top 3. November 2nd, these teams met in Columbus. Calgary won that game 3-0, so Calgary will be looking to continue that. And for Columbus, a team that does struggle to score points, that's a game they can look back on and say, okay, we at least got to get one tonight. Points per 60 minutes, Dubois leads the way for Columbus, 1.97. Gerby, 1.57. Nyquist, 1.43. And Foligno, 1.38 for Foligno. On the Calgary side of things, Mangiapane leads them in points per 60 minutes at 1.88. Tkachuk, 1.85. Lindholm, 1.85. Johnny Gaudreau, 1.84. And Derek Ryan has 1.82. I didn't put him on the board. I only went to 4. But the fact that they're all so close, do they have some kind of a pact? Is there some kind of a situation where if you're scoring at a rate a little bit higher than this, they pull you aside and say, hey, you're making the rest of us look bad? Is that what's going on in Calgary? No, not really. So I would expect for this game, I would expect Riddick, I would expect Korpisalo. We'll see what they do. No confirmation of goaltenders there. But for Columbus, we are into must-win territory because there are teams around them that have games in hand. Now, it's helped that some of those teams with games in hand have been losing those games in hand, but you still want to make sure you're in control of your own destiny, and you get there by winning. The next game on the board is Anaheim in against Colorado. So for Anaheim, coming off of that pretty ugly game last night against Chicago, there's no time to get ready for this next one because now they're playing Colorado. Colorado has won 7 in a row. So I understand the Blues have won 8. Colorado has also won 7. So, these guys are both playing pretty well. Both teams showing that they are the class of the Central Division. Anaheim, 26-32-8 overall. Over their last 10, they're 3-6-1. On the road, they're 12-18-4. Again, if you're an Anaheim fan, it's probably going to be rough for the rest of the season, but in all honesty, gives you a better draft lottery position. About a month from today, we'll be doing the draft lottery, and you may feel a whole lot better about this run. On the Colorado side, they're 40-18-7. Over their last 10, they're 7-2-1. And at home, they're 17-9-5. They're better on the road than they are at home, but at home, they're still pretty darn good. So for Colorado, they lost this matchup October 26th at home, 5-2. So Anaheim's gone in and beaten Colorado once already. And February 21st, Colorado went into Anaheim and beat them 1-0. So the home team hasn't won a matchup between these two yet this season. We'll see how it goes tonight. Points per 60 minutes, Henrique for Anaheim. He's been playing really well lately, 2.02 points per 60 minutes. Silverberg, 1.81. Raquel, 1.62. And Getzlaf, 1.57. So there's your top 4 for them. Top 4 for Colorado. McKinnon, 2.76. I think that's the highest on the board. It is, and what's interesting is his points per 60 minutes, barely ahead of Vrana. So just to put things in perspective. Burakovsky, 2.53. Nichushkin, 2.00. Nichushkin, more points for every 60 minutes he's on the ice than Johnny Gaudreau has, because we're in Bizarro World. Donskoy, 1.95. Also more than all of the Flames. So yeah, some bizarre numbers on the board. But this also shows that Bednar is deploying his team very well, putting them in a position to succeed. It says a lot for his coaching when you see that. In net, I would think you have Francouz on one side. I would think it'd be Miller on the other after Gibson took a kind of a pummeling last night. But who knows? Who knows how this is going to turn out? And for Colorado, do not fall into the trap. I don't think it's a trap game particularly, but don't fall into it. All right. Arizona in against Vancouver. We end on this one. Just the 4 games tonight, like I said. Arizona's 32-27-8. They've been in must-win territory for a while. They're 5-4-1 in their last 10. They have been turning it around slowly. On the road, they're 15-15-4. They went into Vancouver before and they lost. I watched that game. Vancouver won 3-1 January 16th. We'll see how it goes tonight. Vancouver, 34-25-6 overall. They're 4-5-1 in their last 10. They've lost 3 in a row. And they're 27-4 at home. They're not very good on the road. And the funny thing is, we all want to point fingers and, it's Markstrom's gone, so that's, everything sucks. We suck again. They haven't been good on the road this year. It's just been kind of Vancouver's thing. And it's troubling because if you're going to get into the playoffs and you're not going to get home ice advantage, you need to be a good road team. So again, as I said, Vancouver won this meeting January 16th. They meet 2 more times, these teams, both in Arizona, March 12th and April 2nd. So if Arizona wins all 3 of those games, that's 6 points they get. The Vancouver doesn't. They make their chances for making the playoffs that much better. Right now, it looks dire for the Arizona Coyotes, but they're still in control. And for Vancouver, they're in must-win territory as well. Not just for themselves, but I think for Demko, who I would imagine will be playing tonight, because Demang played the last game, so Demko should be the starter tonight. Points per 60 minutes. Since arriving in Arizona, Taylor Hall has been putting up 2.09 points per 60 minutes. Garland also has 2.09. Schmaltz 2.02 and Clayton Keller 1.83. Conspicuous by his absence is Phil Kessel. On the Vancouver side of things, points per 60 minutes, JT Miller 2.57. Who saw that coming? He's almost putting up points at the same rate as McKinnon and Vrana over there, and higher than Couturier. Yeah, none of us saw that coming. I'm not going to claim that I saw that coming either. Pettersson 2.49. Virtanen 1.95. He is putting up points at a faster rate per 60 minutes than anybody in Calgary, because again, it's bizarre world. Brandon Sutter, one of the most maligned players on the Vancouver roster, who I will regularly read. They need to get rid of Sutter. He's no good. Just make him a throw-in for this trade and that trade. He's actually pretty good, and he does produce 1.72 points per 60 minutes on the ice. And having seen him live a bunch of times, he's a very useful player. And a lot of the things that he does, I guess, don't show up on the camera very well, or people just have decided they don't like his contract, so they don't like the player. But Sutter's a very useful player for the Canucks. I would be kind of sad if they did move him in the offseason. All right, there you go. You guys are set up for tonight's action. Let me know your winners in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video, which is always encouraged. The likes seem to matter. Who knew? The dislikes, I think, just take it out of your recommendations. The likes seem to prop a video up. I don't think the dislikes knock a video down, but again, with all the tubes and the internet and the way that its tubes work, I don't know how this tube this tube works. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out together. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.